Hello and welcome to my guide about hunt trains. Despite being a small portion of the player base at large, the hunting community is still decently sized and filled with all kinds of people. Hunt trains are popular the world over, existing on both Japanese and European data centers. If your curiosity is piqued, I'll explain everything for you. So you're probably wondering, what's a hunt train? Well, there are three kinds of hunts. However, the ones we'll focus on are A ranks. These are stronger than B ranks, which are meant to be taken down solo, but smaller than S ranks, which can take several days to spawn and without getting too into it, spawn randomly when triggered properly. With this in mind, A ranks are the only hunts that can be saved for a train. Upon death, they are on cooldown and will not spawn again for another 4 hours. After which, they'll spawn within a 2-hour window, meaning at max a hunt train can take place every 6 hours. Starting from Heavensward, each expansion has 6 zones with 2 A ranks, making a total of 12 A ranks per expansion. So, what are the pros of a hunt train, you ask? Let me list them out for you. They are the most efficient way to gain in-game currency. Instead of killing 1 or 2 when they pop up and only getting about 20 tomes, you can land about 120 tomes by waiting for all 12. 3 trains and bam, you're cacked for the week. They are also time efficient. Though they are not as powerful as S ranks, A ranks are not so easy to kill and have a sizable HP pool meant to last the entire expansion. Even with the best endgame gear, it can take 15 to 20 minutes to kill with a light party. A hunt train can kill all 12 in the same amount of time. If you're the laid-back sort, they're also very effortless. If you're not feeling up to paying attention to your expert roulette and making sure your tank doesn't die, you can ride a hunt train. All you have to do is show up and smack the hunt a few times. Lastly, there's no limit on how many hunts you can kill except your own sanity. If you're hurting for crafting material but you're low on gil, you can ride as many trains as you want to get the material you need. So you're probably wondering, well, what are the cons? There aren't many, but I won't say that they don't exist. If you're the type who doesn't like to visit other worlds, you might miss out on trains. Most trains are ran when they have people available and only a few worlds are capable of running on a schedule. If you miss out on your world's hunt train but don't want to go cross-world, you're out of luck. The hunts take another 6 hours to spawn, and there's no guarantee that there will be a conductor to run when they're all up. Due to trains bringing a higher player count, at times they can get pretty hectic. There are days and times of the year where trains are packed and hunts die really fast, meaning if you have a slow loading system, you may miss out. However, don't fret. I have some tips and tricks later from long-time hunters on how to attend trains even with slow loading systems. So you're right, okay, cool, so how do I join? Well, how does a train happen? Simply put, the organizers wait for all the hunts to spawn. Scouters head out and look for all the hunts ahead of time and mark down where they spawn before passing them off to the conductor who leads the train. The conductor will call a location for everyone to gather at and party up before shouting the locations where the hunts are. All you have to do is show up, click the flags, and follow along. It's that easy. You can find out about hunt trains in-game by joining hunting link shells and crossworld link shells. There are also discords you can join, which I'll go into later. Once you arrive at the start point, simply shout for an invite or check the party finder under the hunt tab. Make sure to empty out any currency before joining. If you hit the cap on your currency while riding, it doesn't get stored anywhere else. Make sure you've got plenty of space to accept more currency. It is also often the case that you will want to be in-game of the expansion to participate, as well as being able to fly in all the zones. If you let your party know before the train you'll need a ride, if you at least have access to all the zones, they can chauffeur you around. Hunts are also enmity based. All you need to do is generate enough enmity, not more than one party or the other. That said, you want to make sure you have at least 2 tanks with their stance on in their party generating the bulk of your aggro on the hunts. Healers can also spam their AoE heals to help generate enmity, as well as lessening DPS so that slow loaders can have more time to make it to the hunts as well. So, if those 2 cons I had spoken of earlier are still on your mind, don't worry, we've got a solution. When I first started playing, I didn't have a powerful PC myself, so I know all too well about how slow loading can be. Here are some common complaints we get about hunt trains. If you've ridden a train and thought, this train is too fast, I can't keep up. There are a lot of factors that contribute to how much traffic a train will have. For instance, at the time this video was made, America was seeing an actual uptick in traffic due to high interest before the release of Endwalker, whereas most conductors were expecting things to slow down again as usual after a big patch. There are 3 big factors that contribute to what will bring high traffic to a train: the time of day, the day of the week, and where you are in the expansion. Naturally, morning trains are less crowded as most working adults are at work. Late night trains are less crowded because people are sleeping to go to work the next morning. This leaves trains during the afternoon and evening being the busiest time of day, as people often unwind by playing video games. Not only is the time of day important, but also the day of the week. Weekly timers reset on Tuesday in America, making it a very popular day for go-getters to cap on their tomes early, meaning trains will be at their busiest. Weekends can also be crowded as well, due to most people not being at work. Lastly, as I had mentioned earlier, activity goes up after a big patch, especially on patches where upgrades for the tome gear is released, as upgrades can be bought with hunt currency. That said, conductors do oftentimes keep their riders in mind. Some conductors, when they see high traffic, will slow the train down by putting in vibe checks, or pit stops if you will. Before changing a zone, they will give you an aetherite to wait at to give slower systems a chance to load into the area. Local trains can also lessen player attendance a significant amount on some worlds, depending on how big that world is. Even with these factors in mind, you might find yourself struggling to make it in time or get full credit, but we have help for that too. If you found yourself asking, how can I get full credit when I barely load in time? Don't fret. Oftentimes, when player attendance is at its highest, you will not see the hunt load. This is not due to your system, but the game itself. The game can only load so many entities on the screen at once, and as a result, prioritizes seeing players over the hunt in most cases. That said, if you are having trouble loading the hunt in time, here's a few tips to help. By lowering party effects, you can lessen how hard your system has to display everything on screen. You can pause the video here to copy this macro when you have the time. These will help turn off battle effects so you have less to load. One good thing about hunts is that as long as you're in a party of other people who are also attacking the hunt, you don't need to hit it yourself. You can use your party members to help get you credit as long as the hunt is still alive. In order to try and check if you're on the aggro table, simply check your enemy list. It will disappear if the hunt also does on your screen, but if you can get it to show the hunt you're trying to attack, congratulations, you're on the enmity list. For example, if you are a DPS or a tank, using your AoE attacks will get you credit. This is helpful if you cannot see the hunt. Just because you cannot see it doesn't mean the hunt doesn't exist. Simply by standing on the mass of people piled on top of it and spamming your AoE button, you too can get credit. This only works for classes that have buttons that do not require a target to use. As you can see on screen, even at max melee distance, I can still attack this striking dummy. This goes for hunts as well, that you have to be just close enough to get one hit on them. If you only have healers leveled, you can spam heals to help land you on the list. These can be your AoE or single target heals as long as that person you heal has tagged the hunt as well. Scholars and white mages can also use their AoE attacks to get on the enmity list as well. If you're unlucky enough to only have a class level that has no non-targeted required AoEs, you can still get credit. Raid buffs can still get you on the enmity list by using Embolden, Troubadour, or even Dragon Sight on your party members. You can still land yourself on the aggro table. Any buff or heal on another party member will put you on the aggro list, so tank buffs such as Nascent Flash and the Blackest Night will also count. That said, if you are a tank and you notice someone is arriving at the hunt as it's dying, you can also use Shirk on them to give them credit as well. With these tips put together and with the knowledge of how certain times of day can affect traffic, you should be able to find a train to ride that will suit your needs. Before you participate, please remember that the hunting community is still a community, and by choosing to join it, you have to agree to the same guidelines and rules that everyone else does. Hunt trains are a community effort meant to help everyone, aided by people's patience to wait. By agreeing to ride trains, you are also agreeing to wait for all the hunts to spawn. This means if you see a hunt, you leave it alone and wait for all the others to spawn and for the conductor to call the train. Even though trains are largely cross-world now, that doesn't stop each world from having its own little sub-community or culture. Some worlds prefer Party Finder over Shout, and if you are a visitor on said world, it's best to do as the Romans do and join a party via Party Finder. Some worlds like to run the train in a specific or different order compared to other worlds. Please respect each world's culture, and if you do not like a train, you simply do not have to ride it. Now that I've told you everything you need to know about hunt trains, you're probably wondering what's the best way to get your start. I'll do a little recap for you. You can try getting into hunting link shells and cross-world link shells. Local link shells only work on your world and are primarily for hunt trains, single hunts, and fates on your world. Crossworld link shells can help you know about the same things going on other worlds. Unfortunately, there are only so many relayers and so much space in a link shell, and that's where hunting discords come in. Hunting discords allow a larger amount of people to join, allowing trains to reach a broader amount of people. There are a variety of discords for the different data centers, some of which I've listed here and will link in the description below. Some cater to only one data center, while others serve multiple. Simply find the one that serves you best. If you're the generous sort and are especially appreciative of the organizers who put these together, you can help. You can help relay trains in your own link shells and worlds to help spread the word of hunts so people can get their rewards easier. Also, communicating with your conductors if you see hunts being killed helps them as well, so that way they're not looking for a hunt that is dead. Wrapping up, I hope you found this video useful and informing. I will most likely make more hunt related videos in the future, so feel free to subscribe if you ever want to see those drop. As a reminder, I will be providing links to these discords in the description below so you can get started. Until next time, this has been Spectre, and I'll see you in the next video.